Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to our second race of the season. Second race of the season, the third season of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series. For a moment there, I thought I said this was the second season of Duracell, and that would have been a mistake. Because this is season 3, we're getting ready to go racing here today at Manasas. So we just got done with 2.5 mile super speedway racing in the Daytona 500. Today, a little bit smaller in length, 2 miles, but it's speedway racing, which more than likely brings about 3 and 4 wide racing and more calmer 3 and 4 wide racing than we see at the super speedways like Daytona and Talladega. So should be a very interesting race here today. Maybe a bit of a wild card race. Could come down to right place, right time. And last couple of seasons that we've run here at Manasas, we've had pretty good long green flag run races, and it usually comes down to pit strategy. We usually have a green flag pit stop in the middle. So we'll see what this race is going to be like. It's a rookie on the pole. How about A Kolano? Kolano coming into this race currently 17th in the overall point standings. I believe he is 3rd in the rookie points as well, coming off the Daytona 500. So a good qualifying result here for the Michael Norman Motorsports entry that locks him into next season's Clash. He'll start alongside of Jack Mitchell. So you've got 2 drivers starting on the front row, one making only his 2nd career start. The other one is making, I believe, if my calculations are correct, his 74th career start in the Duracell Cup Series, and neither one have been to victory lane yet, so both looking for their first career wins. You got a rookie behind them in N Ormond out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports, alongside of Jessica Shelton, that Team Retro Racing Enterprises, or now S3 Motorsports, trying to get back into a winning way. Let's go down trackside, get those most famous words in motorsports, then we'll give you your top 10 points coming into this race off the heels of the Daytona 500.
Drivers, start your engines.
So as the command is given, and the cars will cycle around this 2 mile speedway behind the Dodge Charger pace car. Let's give you a top 10 in points coming into this race. Carson Gum, obviously now at this point locked into the playoffs, provided he stays in the top 30 in the points, winning the Daytona 500 last week. He's your points leader. 6 points over Cody Llamas, 7 points to Levi McIntire. He's currently rolling off from 5th place. Ryan Butcher lines up 4th, along with Dylan Young in 5th. They are 9 points back each. Rookie Patrick Smith, rookie points that are coming into this, 6th in the standings. Zach Rogers in 7th. They're 11 points out. Cole Deaver, 2nd in rookie points, is 8th in the standings, 12 points back. William Brock, our Clash winner, 9th. He's 14 points out. And Benny Watson currently completes top 10 in the standings. He is 15 points out of the points lead. In the last 2 seasons, the Blue Oval has reigned supreme, as Blue Oval Automotive has swept the first 2 races here at Manasas. Jose Millz won back in Season 1. T Wright followed up with a win here last year. Comes in the defending winner and dead last in points. So certainly looking at this track as a place to bounce back from the hardships of Daytona. Blue Oval Automotive has 4 entries in the field this season, with the addition of Levi McIntire to Jose Millz, T Wright, and Jordan Lopez. So can that team, or can Ford overall, pick up their 3rd straight win here at Manasas? We're about to find out as rookie A Kolano gets us underway. Let's roll at Manasas Speedway. 50 laps of racing here today. As I stated, we're going to see them 3 wide, possibly 4 wide here, but this track is very spacious, especially in the corners, so they will probably be able to keep it together. It's only when you come off of turn 2 onto the back straightaway, turn 4 into the front straightaway, things start to narrow up a bit, so these drivers will have to give each other a little bit of room. Jack Mitchell trying to get by A Kolano and lead the first lap of the race. Doesn't look like he'll be able to do it. Kolano was able to hold him off through 3 and 4, so it will be the rookie getting lap 1 and getting a very valuable bonus point. They're going to race side by side for 2nd. Jessica Shelton to the inside of Jack Mitchell. 3 wide behind them, Carter Friesen, Charles Sandfer, and Mitchell Collins. Chevrolet had an unbelievable week last week at Daytona. Clash winner William Brock, the front row of the 500, got swept by Chevrolets. in Cole Baker and rookie Jacob Thibodeaux, and then Carson Gum caps it off with the Daytona 500 win. The only time that another manufacturer broke up the bow ties was when R Macklin and, off the top of my head, I can't remember who the other driver was. I'll think of it. I remember it was two rookies. Oh, it was Phil Parker. A couple of Blue Ovals won the Gatorade duels as Jack Mitchell to the lead, and here comes K Mathews. Mathews finished 20th last week in the 500. Right behind him is our Daytona 500 winner, Carson Gum. Now his goal, he's got a win in the bank. Now he wants to rack up bonus points, keep himself as far away from 30th in the standings as possible, and he'll get himself a bonus point leading a lap here at Manasas. Comes the defending champion of the series, R Acosta. Ryan did not have a good Daytona 500 as he finished 25th in that race, but up here towards the front early on in the Home Depot Toyota Camry out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports. You'll notice a number of drivers here in this race running their secondary paint schemes. They're going to go 3 wide behind him. Turner's going to stick Levi McIntyre in the middle. Jessica Shelton up high. This all going on behind Carson Gum. We have had drivers win back-to-back races in the Duracell Cup Series, but we've never had a driver win back-to-back races in the first 2 races of the season. Carson Gum trying to change that. As a matter of fact, Carson Gum's starting to climb up there on the list of all-time Duracell Cup Series winners. Jose Millz is at the top of that list. Jordan Lopez not too far behind, but with Carson Gum winning the Daytona 500 last week, he is now, I believe, in 3rd for overall Duracell Cup Series wins with 4. Top 3 single file, Chevy, Toyota, Ford. Battle now will be for 2nd place. Benny Watson 10th in points, stuck in the middle line there. LaPlante up top, Keith Batson on the bottom. He's got Ryan Brommer right behind him. Vince Almariego in the 42 as well. We're going to see a lot of different faces up here towards the front during the course of this race. A lot of drivers already have made their way up to the front, even up into the top 10 in the first 6 laps of this race. And as I stated, as it's looking right now, looks like these drivers are doing a good job of racing hard but racing clean. 3 wide, 4 wide back through the pack, but nobody really leaning on each other's doors. So if we get into that stage where we'll see green flag pit stops, that could be the money stop for these drivers. I'll be interested to see, too, just exactly what the fuel window is for these drivers. Their goal would obviously be trying to make it to the completion of lap 25 or thereabouts in order to be able to pit at the halfway point and make it the rest of the way, be ensured they can make it the final 25 laps or less, depending on when they come to pit road. So if we see them hit pit road earlier than that, like say lap 18, 19, 20, then it'd be a little bit of a question of 2 things. Number 1, did the fuel window just open for them to make it the rest of the way on a pit stop, or are they going to have to make at least 1 more pit stop before the close of the race? Well, Carson Gum right now, mission accomplished for getting the lap-led bonus point, but now he wants to lead the most laps, get another bonus point. It's all about stacking up points away from 30th in the standings now, as they've, at this point, been the only driver to check off agenda number 1, and that is win a race here in Season 3. Keith Batson all over his back bumper, though. It's been a long winless streak for Keith, as he hasn't won since Richmond back in Season 1. Bringing on a rookie teammate now in R Macklin, who we saw win the dual race at Daytona. So we'll see if that's going to help this previously single car team be able to put together even better race-winning race cars, as Dylan Young slots into 3rd. The Ironman scheme on that number 2, that Deuce. Dylan Young, of course, making it into the playoffs for the first time in his career last season. Last week at Daytona, though, he almost was up there in the conversation for the victory as he finished in 5th. Marcus Saatchi in his 2nd full-time season, now in his own team of Saatchi Enterprises, though, moving into 3rd place. Phil Parker, the rookie who was another winner in the dual races at Daytona. He's currently now going for 4th on Dylan Young. See Carson Gum there, Saw how he took a defensive line into 3 and 4. He saw K Batson was trying to get the run on the top side. Moved up, took away that lane. Now he'll move down to block M Saatchi. So, you know, this isn't a super speedway race, but the fact they're able to run 3 and 4 abreast, the draft is definitely coming into play on these straightaways, and the fact that Carson Gum is seeming to move up to block the advances of whichever line is moving on the straightaways. This is almost like watching a super speedway race again. And maybe it's just my own personal opinion, but I think the speedway races like this, Chicagoland, Michigan, Auto Club, are actually more exciting than the super speedway races like Daytona and Talladega. That's why there aren't very many super speedway venues on the schedule. Cole Baker there in the 11. No longer the defending Daytona 500 winner since last week. He struggled last week as well in the 500. Comes into this 31st in the points as we've got a battle for the lead. M Saatchi with the slingshot move out of turn 4 on Carson Gum. I think he's going to lead that lap by a splitter. Ticker says yes. So M Saatchi will go to the point. Now can he get a big enough run through 1 and 2 to clear Carson Gum down the back straightaway? Looks like he's going to get some help. Cole Baker and his teammate Vince Almriego there, and Baker's actually going to have a big run. He might actually go for the lead himself down in turn 3. Talked about drivers and secondary schemes. Well, a scheme we have not seen yet making its debut for Blue Oval Automotive, the Season 1 winner here at Manasas. J Millz bringing IK9 on for a secondary sponsorship on his Blue Oval Ford Mustang. And Austin LaPlante going to go to the lead, passing Vince Almriego. So now it seems like as soon as someone was able to shake Carson Gum out of the lead, now everybody's taking a turn out in front. J Millz trying to get to the inside of Austin LaPlante, and I would have to look back, but I want to say that J Millz' average finish here is 1.5. I'm pretty certain. I would have to look back. Maybe I'm thinking of a different track, but I think J Millz, one season after taking the checkered flag back in Season 1, I believe last year, he finished second to his teammate T Wright. So not a surprise to see him up at the front again here in Season 3 is Jacob Thibodeaux now to the inside of Austin LaPlante. Those are teammates out of Northeast Motorsports. One on the bottom, one on the top, chasing the Speed Raceway Toyota Camry of M Haas, who slipped up a little bit there. Out of turn 4, open the door down low, and Jacob Thibodeaux is going to stick his foot in. Here comes Adam Garcia in the 12 as well. You know, there's a lot of drivers that have run every single Duracell Cup Series race that still have not gotten a victory. We mentioned earlier about starting up there on the front row, I believe, yeah, who was that? All of a sudden, I can't think of who it was. There was somebody that was started up on the front row that hadn't won yet in their career. And now I don't remember who it was. But regardless, I'm seeing a lot of drivers up here towards the front right now that have not won in their career and have run every race. Charles Sanford's up there. Adam Garcia, we just mentioned in the 12. Thought I saw a couple of others as well as Carson Gum goes back to the lead. Yeah, you got Vince Almriego back there in the 42. A big opportunity for a driver that still has a 0 in the career wins column. And look at this. It's like watching the 500 all over again. Carson Gum won the Daytona 500, and Cody Llamas finished second, and there was almost some contact there between him and Johnny Gardner for that second position. And Cody was going to move down, didn't realize Johnny had such a run with R Brommer behind him, almost blocked him, and we nearly had a caution right there. Look at that bright orange car there in the middle. That's Cole Deaver, the 08 Wheaties Chevrolet. 8th in his Duracell Cup Series debut. Second highest finishing rookie. Patrick Smith, who was the highest finishing rookie up here towards the front as well. There he is in the Gatorade Toyota Camry. Levi McIntire. You can bet that he was coming into this race with a lot of confidence, moving over to Blue Oval Automotive, who has won the past 2 races here Levi looking for his second career victory in the Duracell Cup Series. We're getting closer and closer. I keep looking up at the top of the screen at the ticker. We are on lap 19, going to complete it when they come around to the start-finish line. Again, these drivers, I think we're looking for at least the completion of lap 25 before these drivers want to start making green flag pit stops. That way they know they're only going to have to come to pit road once. If anybody pits prior to that, they're probably going to have to pit at least one more time before the checkered flag. Benny Watson there, trying to reel in Mitchell Collins for third place. He's got Cole Baker now darted to the inside, so it'll turn into a battle for fourth. James Qualls back there working his way to the front, and another Blue Oval Automotive car. The 38 of Jordan Lopez has now cracked the top 10. Right now, though, at the front, it is Chevy, Dodge, Ford, Toyota. How democratic is that? All four manufacturers in the top four positions. Mitchell Collins now going to be the best battle towards the front, as he'll go for second off of Ryan. Benny Watson right there as well. Cole Baker, Dylan Young, and as these drivers get side by side, that allows everyone behind them to be able to catch up and start making passes of their own is Carson Gum. I think at this point he might have most laps led wrapped up. Still a long ways to go though, so I can't say that with absolute certainty, but right now with the way that drivers have been jostling that top spot back and forth, and Carson Gum now on his second stint of being up front and staying up front, he's definitely looking like he is going to take that second bonus point for most laps led. Cole Baker is his teammate though, and you can bet if it comes down between these two in the closing stages, there are no teammates, there are no friends, it's every man for himself. Carson Gum's already got a win in the bank. Cole Baker wants to make the playoffs for the second straight year. Jessica Shelton now getting stuck three wide. Here comes Michael Norman to the bottom. The Pizza Hut stuffed Cheez-It paint scheme on his Michael Norman Motorsports entry. That's a battle going on right now for the fourth position between himself and Jessica Shelton. We're back up to the front. Top three, you could throw a blanket over them. Carson Gum, Cole Baker, Dylan Young. All three of them were in the playoffs last season. And right now, all three of them up here in the conversation, maybe for the win. Three wide behind them. Benny Watson making strides as he stuck Ryan Acosta in the middle. Michael Norman way up top side. Here comes the pole sitter, A Kolano, back to the front as well. Move back up to the front yet again, as I think we got pit stops going on, and this seems awfully early. Carson Gum is in, and we got some drivers that are having difficulty. Jordan Lopez and Cody Llamas have spun. Ryan Butcher missed the pit lane. Is that going to bring out a caution? We're still green. The green lights are still on. The pace car still sits at the end of pit road. Butcher has missed it. Cody Llamas and Jordan Lopez missed pit lane as well, as they spun onto the apron, so trouble getting onto pit road for a couple of drivers in the middle green flag pit stops. And like I said, this seems a little too early to be coming to pit lane to make it the rest of the way. Cole Baker's coming to pit road this time. Let's see if this second group does any better getting onto pit road. Looks like they do. They were a little bit more organized. But we had some more drivers stay out, and that turned the race lead over to rookie A Kolano. These guys right here, I think, are in the catbird seat. They're going to stay out and come to pit road around the conclusion of lap 25. So I would look at these guys maybe to be the ones that can make it on fuel. Unless indeed around lap 23 the fuel window opened to make it the rest of the way. And J Millz would be a good guy to use as a test case here, because he's won at this track before. He's on pit road, as is Kolano, Dylan Young, Benny Watson, Shelton, Brock. That's Keith Batson back there as well, I believe. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's actually the 93 of his teammate Aaron Macklin. Matt Haas was in as well. Charles Belding. There you see Ryan Butcher able to get to pit road now. Cody Llamas also. But they lost a ton of track position because of missing pit road on the first attempt. We'll stick with the 81 of A Kolano, who inherited the lead when the first and second groups came to pit lane. We'll see who the lead is going to cycle around to. Remember, Carson Gum was the leader when the pit stops began. I kind of think maybe being out in front as long as he was too, he was the one that definitely would have had to come to pit road sooner because of the fact he didn't have as much draft to be able to work with. Whoa, almost a little contact coming off pit road there between Kolano and Jose Millz. Millz wanted the lead off pit lane. But Kolano may have a rookie stripe on the back, but he was not going to be bested by the veteran. Here comes Cole Baker in the 11. He's leading this fast group around the outside. I believe he very well might cycle around to the top position. And I believe he was with the second group that came to pit road. He's got Ryan Acosta with him. Carson Gum, who was the first one to pit lane, there he is. Looks like he'll cycle around to somewhere around the 7th, 8th position. As the pit stops have cycled around, let's go through the field here. Just past the halfway point. So Cole Baker's the leader. Kolano in second. Ryan Acosta under fire for third. He'll drop to fourth. Jose Millz moves to third. Right now in fifth, Benny Watson. Sixth, Phil Parker. Seventh is Dylan Young. Carson Gum now back to eighth. Jesse Turner's ninth. And right now completing your top 10 is Vince Almriego. Right now a lap down, and 40th is the Jordan Lopez machine. So Kyle Mathews will currently, I think, be cycling around to 11th when he crosses the stripe. James Qualls would be 12th, 13th William Brock, 14th Matthew Rodriguez. 15th is Michael Norman, 16th Adam Garcia. 17th is Jessica Shelton, 18th Zach Rogers, 19th currently is 3 wide between Collins, Matt Haas, and Aaron Macklin. 23rd is Ryan Brommer, 24th under contest. Charles Sandfer about to take it. That'll move Carter Friesen back to 25th, 26th Nathan Ormond, 27th Patrick Smith. 29th just got exchanged. Cole Deaver took it from Austin LaPlante, or I'm sorry, that was 28th rather. Deaver to 28th, LaPlante back to 29th, Belding currently in 30th. 31st is Keith Batson, 32nd is T Wright. 33rd, Levi McIntire, so he faded back. I wonder if he might have gotten held up by the spins that took place there on that first round of pit stops. Nathan Hudson way back here in the 34th position, along with rookie teammate Jacob Thibodeaux, who's 35th. Johnny Gardner currently in 36th. 37th, Jack Mitchell. That's the driver that was on the outside of the front row for the start of this race. And he is not running where he started. Currently in 37th. And 38th is Ryan Butcher, who I believe is still on the lead lap. Yes, he is. Cody Llamas is as well in 39th position. He's the last car on the lead lap, and we saw that Jordan Lopez in the 38 had been put a lap down. He is the last car running on the track, 1 lap down in the 40th position. Up front, a couple of rookies, Austin Kolano and Phil Parker. Kolano started on point. Phil Parker trying to get his first win. Phil Parker, let's not forget, outside of the Duracell Cup Series, is the most recent winner in another series, as he was a winner in the Pedigree Xfinity Series. Sounds like they are fast approaching the 84 of Cody Llamas. Not the momentum Cody wanted, coming off his runner-up finish last week at Daytona. This is definitely going to drop him in the point standings. Is now Phil Parker out in front. He's got a rear deck lid full of Dylan Young. Kyle Mathews there as well. Benny Watson, William Brock, James Qualls up here in the mix now in the 54 car. Seen a lot of speed here today out of those Joanna Atwood Motorsports machines. Saw Nathan Ormond start up towards the front. Started this race, I think it was in third. We saw Ryan Acosta up towards the front a couple of times, and now Qualls up here as well. Qualls also on a bit of a winless streak. I think his winless streak is longer than Keith Batson's. Qualls hasn't won since Martinsville back in Season 1. Kyle Mathews was the winner at ISM, a track that we're going to be going to in a couple of weeks. So he's pushing towards a 1-season winless streak, and William Brock right there with him in the 88. Started off the season with a win in the Clash, but that was a non-points event. Finished 9th in the 500 last week, though. As Kyle Mathews now goes to the point. One thing I'm noticing up here towards the front, at least here in the second half, very few Ford Mustangs. Phil Parker and Jesse Turner, along with Dylan Young, they're the only Fords that crossed the line in the top 10 last time by. We got a lot of Chevys and a lot of Toyotas. And right now it's the Chevrolet Camaro of Kyle Mathews leading the way. Trying to get S3 Motorsports their first win on the season. Cole Baker Going to slot into second as he gets by Benny Watson. Ryan Acosta right there for third. Would love to get an early victory to make his way into the playoffs and defend his championship. Remember last season, the defending champion that year, Chris Dollarton, didn't even make it into the playoffs. So we were guaranteed a brand new Duracell Cup Series champ. And now Cole Baker. You got to think that Cole's pretty motivated with his disappointing run last week in the 500 to try and get to victory lane as soon as possible. He's going to edge out K Mathews there, but again, going back to what I was saying with the green flag pit stops, I'm going to be curious to see if all these guys can make it on fuel. We could see some drivers have to duck to pit lane with anywhere from 3 to maybe even the final lap left in this race. And there were only a handful of drivers that were able to stretch it to the completion of lap 25. And like I said, those could be the drivers that are in the catbird seat. And the first of those was the rookie A Kolano, who right now does not look like he is saving fuel. He's going to try and charge his way back up to the front as 3 wide at the line. Give it to Dylan Young at the stripe. All of a sudden, here come the Fords. Dylan Young and J Millz have made their way up here into the top 10. Jordan Lopez right now, in the 38, he's battling K Llamas in the 84. Both drivers are now up to speed since they're in this pack, but they are both minus 1 lap. What they're doing right now is they're hoping that this lead group they're a part of will reel in more drivers that are running either by themselves or in smaller packs and just pick up as many positions as possible, because every position is a point, and who knows? Going down to the end of the regular season, that 1 point, that 1 position could be the difference maker between whether you're making it into the playoffs and you're not. Wow, they're 4 wide back there, and that was a little close between Jesse Turner and Carson Gum, as Phil Parker forced the issue on the bottom. They settle it back out, though, and you've got about, I would say, 13, 14 cars up in this lead pack that still have a shot at this win, but again, who amongst them can make it on fuel? And right now, if Blue Oval Automotive is going to come away with this victory, the only driver they've got up here in this lead group on the lead lap that has a shot at it is the 98 of J Millz. You've got Jordan Lopez up here, but he's off the lead lap, and Trey Wright, Levi McIntyre both are nowhere to be seen, as the next car that Kolano is going to put a lap down is the 78 of Ryan Butcher. Ryan didn't spin. He just completely missed pit road entrance when the pit stops began, and Kolano makes quick work of him through 3 and 4. Phil Parker going to follow in line as well. So now it's a guessing game. Are these drivers trying to position themselves here in these final few laps, or are they trying to save as much fuel as they can to get to the finish? Looks like we might go 4 wide again. James Qualls sticks his nose down to the inside on K Llamas. Well, the good news for James Qualls to start out this season is he doesn't find himself coming into this race in the same predicament he found himself coming into a majority of the second half of the regular season races last year, which was dead last in points. Doesn't get much better than that, though, because he's 39th in the points coming to this one, so certainly a good run necessary for the 54 car, as he is currently in that second spot. Got to be under fire from K Mathews, though. Mathews last week finished 20th in the Great American Race. And if we look as far as the rookie points are going as well, we talked about the fact that Kolano started on the pole and came into this one 3rd in the rookie points behind Patrick Smith and Cole Deaver. This is a big statement here for him to possibly move up there and take the rookie points lead heading into next week at Las Vegas. Definitely a bigger opportunity for the rookies to make up more ground each race, because we have 9 rookies this season. Last year we only had 6. So pretty much the most points you could make up on somebody in a race last year was 6 points. Now you can make up 9 points in a race. So it should make the rookie points battle even more of a challenge here in Season 3. K Mathews, big run through 3 and 4, ducks to the bottom, nothing Kolano can do. Mathews will go to the point. Here comes Cole Baker, and you see that 38 of Jordan Lopez. Now he is a lap down, but he could help somebody, help push somebody to a victory, as could Ryan Butcher, as could K Llamas, who currently are all in this lead group but off the lead lap. You'd have to think Jordan Lopez probably would like to help his teammate J Millz. Cody Llamas, he could probably help rookie teammate Austin Kolano, who's in this lead group. Don't know who Ryan Butcher would help, though. His teammate Patrick Smith is not up in this lead pack. Let's drop back a little bit here. See about that second group, which actually looks like it's bigger than the first group. This is a battle going on right now for the 14th position between Charles Sandfer, N Ormond, Patrick Smith, J Shelton. On back, woo, M Saatchi and rookie R Macklin making a little contact perhaps there as Carter Friesen crowds them. Oh man, that looks awfully sketchy right there, especially when the field compresses off of turn 2 onto the back straightaway. Saatchi's going to slot down in front of Levi McIntyre, I think, so I think we're going to get away with it, but we almost had a wreck right there. That was a close call. You see all these drivers here in this second group. They're all basically at this point either trying to make it on fuel, play a gamble and come away with a good finish, or battle for the 14th position. That's the most they can do at this point in time. Now we saw drivers hit pit road to begin the cycle of green flag pit stops back on lap 23. So if that is as far as they can go, we're going to see them probably hit pit road within the next, I would say, 2 to 4 laps. Unless, as I stated, the fuel window opened for them to make it the rest of the way, and that was their one green flag pit stop. Battle on for the lead here between Cole Baker and Phil Parker. One thing I noticed too, a lot of drivers did not want to spend a lot of time out there in the front of the pack, because we saw Carson Gumm be the first one that had hit pit road, and he led the most laps in the first half of this race. Look at this. Kyle Mathews steps out on Parker. Parker steps out on Baker. 3 wide to the line. Which line gets it? I think it was Baker by a splitter. Imagine if that was the finish. 2 100ths was the separation amongst the top 3 at the start-finish line, and it was just about as close as that in a 3-wide battle for 4th between Almriego, Brock, and Dylan Young. Kyle Mathews now to the point. Boy, there's been a lot of Chevrolets that have gone up here to the front numerous times. Mathews, Baker, and Carson Gumm. And I want to keep an eye on that 19 car. He's still running in this lead group, but he was the first of the drivers to hit pit road. Does he have enough fuel to make it the rest of the way? Are we watching the battle to the checkers, or will fuel be a concern? James Qualls now with a big run. Help from fellow Toyota Camry, Austin Kolano, the pole sitter. They'll try and push him to the top spot. If a rookie, we got a couple of rookies up here. Uh-oh, pit stops. I see some drivers there pitting. Jesse Turner's indicating he's coming to pit road. Kyle Mathews, a late turn onto pit lane. Ryan Acosta and Carson Gumm are in. We got any takers from this second group? Couple. Matthew Rodriguez and Adam Garcia can't make it. Oh boy. Who's got the fuel? Going back to my point with Kolano out in front. If Kolano or a rookie can win this race, it'd be the soonest in the season that a driver has won. Last season, the first rookie to win was Alexander Rowe. And that was a little ways into the first half of the season. Ryan Butcher can't make it. James Qualls, Cole Baker, contact! Spinning onto pit road. Will that bring out a caution? Cody Llamas gets a piece of it. No, we're still green. No caution for the pit road incident between Qualls and Baker, who were battling around the second position at the time. 2 laps to go. Kolano still out in front. Remember, he was one of the last drivers to hit pit road on the cycle. Can he make it? Or will he indicate he's coming to pit road this time? He's got a pretty big lead, too. That'd be a little worrying if indeed he is staying out, which he is. Dylan Young stays out. Benny Watson, William Brock, J Millz stay out. Almriego can't make it. Can Kolano hold him off? He's got Jesse Turner ahead to have to deal with. Dylan Young in second. The white flag was just displayed. Watson third. Brock in fourth. Millz in fifth. Dylan Young closing in quickly on the 81. Can Kolano throw a block down the back straightaway here? If Dylan Young makes a move, will Watson have enough of a run to maybe make it 3 wide and 3 and 4? Dylan Young looking low. Kolano tries to block. Slow car on the bottom. That's Cody Llamas. Dylan Young trying to split him. Kolano goes high. Young goes low. They're all wadded up. Drag race to the line. Dylan Young getting the advantage. Dylan Young's going to win at Manasas. Dylan Young's going to get his second career Duracell Cup Series victory. And I don't know if Kolano had to lift for the 84 sliding up the track in front of him or not. But regardless of the fact Dylan Young was to the inside of Kolano through 3 and 4, he would have split Cody Llamas regardless, probably still would have had the advantage, and Dylan Young, who started out the season with a 5th place run at Daytona, is going to pick up a checkered flag here at Manasas Speedway. And Dylan Young, did he just clinch himself a spot into the playoffs? And it came down to fuel. Some drivers were able to make it, some drivers were not. Those that were able to make it, going to come away with pretty good runs. Those that didn't, going to lose a lot of positions on track and a lot of points in the standings. And boy, Cole Baker, J Qualls, late contact between those two coming to pit road is not going to help their finishing results either. Qualls finished 19th, Baker in 25th. Looks like neither driver stopped to get their damage fixed. They just took the gasoline necessary, went out, and tried to finish as best as they could. Standings are official, and Dylan Young, hey, how about that? 3 for 3 for Ford Mustangs winning here at Manasas. This time it was not a Blue Oval Automotive car, though. It was a Young Motorsports machine with team owner Dylan Young taking the checkered. Dylan had not won since Darlington of last year, but that Darlington win got him into the playoffs. Will today's Manasas win get him into the playoffs for the second straight season? Only time will tell, but a great start to the year for that deuce. Kolano, so close, trying to become the first rookie winner this season, but again, going back to Cody Llamas, I don't know if him moving up high slowed up Kolano or not, but Kolano's still going to come away with a second place run after starting on the pole. Nothing to be ashamed of here today for that rookie. William Brock, great run for him there in the 3rd position, so he'll remain in the top 10 in points, as will Benny Watson. He finishes in 4th. Brock and Watson came into this race 9th and 10th in the standings. J Millz would have loved to have gotten his second win of his career here at Manasas and would have loved to have continued the streak for Blue Oval Automotive, but boy, he's got great numbers here. A 1st, a 2nd, and a 5th, I believe, are his finishes in the first 3 seasons at Manasas in the Duracell Cup Series. Ryan Brommer, great run for him there in 6th. We didn't talk very much about him this race, as I think he was back in that second pack when the field got broken up, but a top 10 run for that machine, as R Macklin will be the 2nd highest finishing rookie. Good run in 7th. Matt Haas brings it home in 8th. Jessica Shelton 9th, and another rookie up in the top 10, Charles Belding, will finish in the 10th position. Talked about drivers that came into this race running well in the standings. Well, some drivers that really are going to benefit from good runs here today that did not come into this race running good. You got J Millz 33rd in points coming to this, Charles Belding 36th, and Jessica Shelton 37th. So if you're going to pick up spots, do it early, because you can pick up 12, 13, 14 spots with a good finish, as opposed to later on in the season where you would pick up measly 2 or 3 positions with a good run. Looking outside the top 10, LaPlante brings it home on 11th. Vince Almariego in 12th. Carson Gum, I think, led the most laps. He'll finish 13th, though. Obviously, he would have loved to have gotten a second victory, but I think they accomplished most of the goals they wanted to come into this one, getting a bonus point for a lap led and a bonus point for most laps led. Ryan Acosta is going to finish 14th, Kyle Mathews 15th, and T Wright was the last driver to finish on the lead lap. I could say this a couple of minutes ago, the defending winner of this race, finishing last car on the lead lap. Can't say that now with Dylan Young going to victory lane. Then the rest of these drivers finished off the lead lap. A bit of a comeback run there for Jordan Lopez. Remember, he was 1 lap down after he and Cody Llamas got together coming to pit road on the first round of green flag pit stops. He stayed out and was able to pass all those other drivers that pitted. So he finished in the 18th position after spending a good portion of this race back around the 37, 38 spot. So definitely picked up some good positions there with that fuel strategy. He finishes behind Jesse Turner, J Qualls, and Phil Parker completed the rest of your top 20. You look down through the remainder of the finishing results. Nobody finished out of the race, although this race did not go without incident. Pit road entry was the toughest part for all these drivers, and you look on down at drivers that were up there towards the front in the early portions of this race. You had M Saatchi back there in 32nd, Mitchell Collins 33rd, Sandfer in 34th, Nathan Hudson. It's been a pretty struggling start to the year for that rookie. 30th last week at Daytona, 35th here today. Thibodeaux, another driver that struggled here in his rookie season. J Gardner back in 37th, Jack Mitchell in 38th, and Ryan Butcher and K Llamas, they had the issue with pit road on the first round of pit stops, and I think K Llamas was actually 2 for 2 in getting involved in incidents coming to pit road on the first and second round of pit stops. I think he got a piece of the Cole Baker James Qualls incident in the closing stages of this race as well. He'll finish in 40th. That's going to be a big hit in the point standings for him after finishing second in last week's Great American Race. That's going to do it here today, though, from Manasas. Another time that Manasas has definitely played dividends into an exciting finish. If I recall last year's race was kind of boring. I think it was a 2-car breakaway with T Wright and J Millz, so much more exciting race here this season. Maybe it's because we're not using the 2019 rules package. Who knows? But Dylan Young is going to join Carson Gum as a winner this season. Next week, we pack it up and we head to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, another track where we have long green flag runs, possibly fuel strategy. Can't wait to head there. Till then, I've been Seth Cole. Thanks for tuning into this race. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and become part of the crew today. We have shown you full finish results, and these are your point standings heading into next week at Las Vegas. Until then, you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.